Finally, took me long, took me long enough. Huh. Um, let's just do something real quick. I feel like debunking some more articles and maybe just reacting to stuff. Who knows? Anyways, hmm, which one of these articles is gonna interest me the most? Hmm, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Hmm, this might be a little interesting. Let's take a look at this. 10 Dragon Ball spin-offs that could rival the main series. Uh, I am very skeptical about this. I don't know what to say. Anyways, let's just keep it going. Over the 40 plus years since its debut, Dragon Ball's iconic cast of characters, along with its many universes, have grown up quite a bit. Long gone are the days when Goku was a strangely strong, tailed boy from the mountains, and now he and the rest of the Earth's heroes travel across timelines and meddle in the affairs of deities. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. But anyways, let's see. Despite Goku and Vegeta being the stars of the show in its many battles, especially in recent years, Dragon Ball boasts a wide and endearing cast of characters whose lives fans have become invested in as they've grown alongside the series. These characters and their own separate adventures through Dragon Ball's vast world would make for a perfect spin-off shows. I don't know. I don't know about this. Um, the lives of Android 17 and 18 when they were human. Nah, I'm gonna be honest. Nah. This spinoff doesn't really interest me. I'm sorry. Like, okay, we've already seen enough of Android 17 and 18. And no, I'm not saying, oh, we should never see them again. I'm like, we already know their backstory. We don't really need a in-depth analysis of their backstory. Um, let's see here. The Adventures of the Great Saiyaman. Uh, I think we already did have that, technically. The Boo Saga, earlier parts of it. The Boo Saga has become a bit controversial. How was it controversial exactly? With Gohan's time in the Boo Saga? No, this wasn't controversial. The one that was controversial was whenever Akira Toriyama tried to replace Goten. Well, no, no, no. He tried to replace Goku with Goten as the main character. However, fans did not approve of that, thus saving Goku's job. So this isn't really controversial, if I'm being honest. Um, let's see. Universe 6 Adventures? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe this could be it, but honestly, we got a lot to look forward to in Dragon Ball Super. Maybe we can just use this as a last case resort, but for now, well, unfortunately, Dragon Ball Super is on a hiatus until next year. In fact, hiatus on the. Well, there were initial rumors for the return of 2025. This has officially been refuted by the manga's creator, Victory Achida. I'm just gonna say this. Fuck Shueisha. Seriously. Shueisha can go in a whole penis. Um, 2025 return rumors. Oh my gosh, I can't even read for some reason. They have been debunked. Man, I mean, dude, Toyotaro, it needs to be in Toyotaro's hands, not fucking Shueisha. Shueisha's gonna ruin everything. I'm sorry, but anyways, Hercule and Boo Slice of Life. Nah, we don't need this spin-off, if I'm being honest. Nah. These characters have served their purpose very, very well. we don't need a spin-off of these two characters, if I'm being honest. Um, okay, Goku and Chi-Chi's lives together, the 5 years time skip. No, not really. You have the movies for that. Um, I don't think a spin-off series with these two is necessary. It's not. Okay. Hit's life as an assassin. Honestly, this could be very, very interesting. Maybe this one could work off as a spin-off, but that's just me saying maybe. I'm not really sure on this if I'm being honest. But if we actually do end up getting a spin-off of Hit's life, honestly, honestly, it would be very interesting. Okay. Trunks' return to his timeline following the Cell Saga. No, no, we don't need the spin-off. I'm sorry. No, we don't. Um, Trunks has already gone through a lot of hell lately. We don't need him seeing any more hell. Plus, we've already seen some other moments of future Trunks before Goku Black as well. Whenever his fight against Babidi and Tabura before resurrecting Majin Buu. So, nah, a Trunks spin-off is not necessary. Hey, launches time following the original Dragon Ball anime. I don't think a lot of people would be interested in this, if I'm being honest. Plus, there was this rumor, and I used to believe this rumor a lot when I was first being introduced to this Dragon Ball fandom. Um, a lot of people thought that, oh, Launch wasn't in Dragon Ball Z because Akira Toriyama forgot that she even existed. And for a long time, this rumor has been spread across like wildfire for many, many years. And it wasn't until like recently when we found out that no, it's not because Akira Toriyama forgot that she even existed. It's because the voice actress for Launch just didn't want to be part of Dragon Ball anymore and has requested Akira Toriyama to not include her character anymore, and that's what ended up happening. So until we get the voice actress or like I don't know, someone to bring Launch back, this is not going to happen anytime soon. Next, more Pan and Piccolo adventures. No, no, not really. We don't need a spin off of this. They've already served their purpose in Dragon Ball Super Superhero. They don't need another spin off of this. But if we do get like a backstory or like some prequels before Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Well, I know we had that with Goten and Trunks, but with this, maybe, but just for like a small portion, not for a huge side story, backstory. Nah, this is not necessary. Okay, next. Bardock's backstory. No, we do not need another spin-off of Bardock's backstory. We already saw it multiple times with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. Yes, I know these two were different backstories, but we don't need another spin-off, okay? Plus, the Dragon Ball Super manga has been giving us more moments of Bardock, so no, a Bardock spin-off is not necessary in this. Well, out of all of these, I think the only two that I actually agree with somewhat is His Life as an Assassin and the Universe 6 Saints. Honestly, these two are the only ones that I might actually be interested in. The rest of them, I'm sorry, I do not give a shit about the other ones. Anyways, let's go. So far, this hasn't been too bad, but let's see what the other ones have in mind for us. I already know that. Oh my god. I already know that I'm gonna run into some brain dead takes, but okay, let's just see it anyway. Um, okay, Goku versus Miras. Not this. From OG to Daima, Dragon Ball series ranked best to worst. Most Dragon Ball heroes dies except this one, and there's a perfect reason. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see which one of these. Dragon Ball nearly got the perfect Nintendo crossover. Wait, hold on, guys. Give me a minute. What's up? Okay. All right. Technical difficulty, guys. Just something that happened. Okay. This one says Dragon Ball nearly got the perfect Nintendo crossover, but Goku was. Wait a minute. Why does this look very, very familiar? Let's see. Okay. Dragon Ball fans were deprived of what could have been one of the greatest anime and video game crossovers of all time, a testament to Japan's long-lasting impact on global popular culture. So, what was this crossover, and how did it so become to happening? As surprising it might be, Mario and what? No, no, this would be a terrible crossover. Goku does not need to be in the Olympic Games. I'm sorry, no. And this is coming from someone who is a huge fan of Dragon Ball. No, this crossover would have sucked. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics 2020 would have featured many popular franchises. Um, honestly, nah, nah, this doesn't. Okay, and it says here Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. That's his. Okay, I thought it was another game, which the other game that I was thinking about was Super Smash Brothers. And that one, oh my gosh. The amount of people that wanted Goku to be in Smash so badly, okay, I'll admit it, I kind of did want to. But because of how Sakurai has been mistreated, because, oh, he didn't include Waluigi, yeah, I would understand why he didn't include Goku anymore. Um, okay. Okay, let me see. Dragon Ball will outlive every other shonen series, but fans will hate it. What? If unless you're talking about geriatrics and old people, no, that's not true. But okay, this one seems to be interesting. Okay, Dragon Ball will outlive every other shonen series, but fans will hate it. Okay, I already have. I'm gonna doubt this, unless of course you're a geriatric, you're a redhead Henry, or a battle memes by Omari. No, that's not gonna happen. Okay, Dragon Ball is one of the most successful long running anime and manga franchises ever, and there are quite a few reasons for that. Aside from the actual content of the story itself and all its badass attacks and hype moments, Dragon Ball has survived through multiple decades thanks to its many acclaimed films and sequel series. Um, well, you got half of it true. Other half of it was because a lot of people wanted it back. So that's what they got. Um, It isn't the only anime series to achieve longevity, as countless others have been able to retain sizable fan bases as the years pass. However, Dragon Ball is a bit different in that the story has been yet to ever really end, and it doesn't seem that it will end anytime soon. Well, there's been a lot of people saying that if Dragon Ball ended, then Japan's economy would bankrupt. I'm not even making this up. Look, hmm, okay. If Dragon Ball franchise and it would have a noticeable but not devastating impact on Japan's economy and media landscape. Well, the series is incredible. Okay, yeah, but dude, one editor says the Fallout will just oh my god. I'm telling you guys, Dragon Ball is just way too popular and way too powerful to just end. Maybe some point later on in the future, well, okay, I'm not gonna say some point later on they're gonna keep making more and more Dragon Ball series, which is to be expected. I know there's gonna be a lot of geriatrics and a lot of old people that are just sick and tired and just want Dragon Ball to end. Just watch the old series and pretend the new stuff doesn't exist. It's that simple. I don't understand what is it with all these geriatrics like the Redhead Henry, Morani, and a bunch of these other YouTubers that claim to hate Dragon Ball Super, and yet all they do is talk about it. They make hating Dragon Ball Super their entire personality. Like, oh my god, bro. The amount of toxicity that these people have had is absolutely insane. But okay, let's just keep reading. Okay, Dragon Ball isn't like the other top shonen stories. Dragon Ball's never ending story allows for endless continuations. Well, tell me something new, I guess. Unlike some other franchises, which overstay their welcome and eventually become shells of themselves, Dragon Ball is in its fourth decade of activity and fans continue to want more. Well, unless, of course, like I said before, you're a Z elitist, a GT fan, or just someone who hates the new shit in general. Of course, the quality of the content added to the franchise matters quite a bit, and modern Dragon Ball has continued to deliver on that front. Well, yep, yeah, that is kind of true. Okay, there is a reason for the lack of fatigue when it comes to Dragon Ball, and why its continuations work and leave fans wanting more. Unlike other top shonen series, such as its direct competitor, Slam Dunk, or any big names like Naruto, Bleach, or even more modern oh my god, Demon Slayer. Dragon Ball never really fit into the typical arc structure of storytelling and never came. Oh my god, bro, big cut. Typical arc of structure and storytelling. Oh my god, bro. Okay, I'm already losing some brain cells. Let's just keep going. Um, that isn't to say Akira Toriyama's original story didn't feature any major arcs. The Saiyan, Namek, Cell, and Buu sagas are some of the most impressive singular arcs in manga history. Nevertheless, they are very singular and aren't really connected by major ongoing. Oh my god, bro. Ah! Oh my god, bro. Very singular, you say. Oh my god. So, did this person just. Um, okay, Dragon Ball is not the most complex, but it's not a straight line either. It's a lot more complicated than a lot may think. Like, for example, some people say that, oh, to achieve Super Saiyan, you gotta start yelling. No, generally speaking, something tragic has had to happen for the transformation to trigger. And also, you should have trained and gotten stronger. It's not just yelling that will just get you the transformation. But of course, a lot of these people don't want to hear that. And oh my god, bro. Aren't really connected by major ongoing plot points. Are you serious? My guy, the Cell Saga was one of the most complex stories ever made. And the reason for that being was because we've discovered that there were more timelines in Dragon Ball than we thought. And the cell that came to our timeline came from another timeline of Future Trunks where he has successfully defeated the androids. But then Cell comes in and kills this Trunks, thus ending the Saiyan race completely. So a lot of people don't know this, but Cell's story is one of the most complex stories to ever happen. And not only that, whenever Cell would kill his victims, oh my god, bro, he didn't just kill his victims. Whenever he powered up, people were screaming in pain. When I saw this, I was like, wait, I thought they were already dead. Why do I hear more yelling? It turns out Cell didn't just kill them, he tortured them inside as well. And when he powered up, guess what? You could hear the souls of torture. And that's what happened. No way they said yelling is the only way for them to transform. Bro, you'd be surprised how many people keep on saying that. It's absolutely atrocious. But anyways, let's see what this has to say. And as for the Boo Saga, the Boo Saga is also complex. Not like overly complex, but it isn't a straight line either, where some people think, oh, villains just came to just destroy the world and that's it. No, no, that's not true. For Majin Buu, it's a lot more complicated than that. With Majin Buu, well, yes, they wanted to like destroy civilizations, but they also wanted to inflict terror upon many races. And for Majin Buu, it was kind of different with him as well, because some people think that because you absorb people, you get stronger. Not the case with Majin Buu, because whenever he was absorbing the Supreme Kais, his power reduced. Believe it or not, especially whenever he absorbed the Grand Supreme Kai, his power dropped by a lot. And if you think I'm kidding, look at this. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can find it right here. Um, okay. Absorption instead. Okay, okay. Usage. Okay, Majin Buu fully engulfs and takes on an opponent on his body, causing an increase in his physical or mental powers. Buu usually has a severed body part of liquefy, whereas a piece of skin fall off of his body. The goo will then sneak up behind his person and stretch itself to be large enough to accommodate the target. It will then leap onto the person to smother as much of the target um, as it can as its first strike to make the capture easier. If Boo is lucky, it will completely cover the person directly on the first leap. Quickly cover up any person that was not covered when it was first leap. Yep. Trapping the person is seemingly impossible to escape it. And yeah, but a lot of people don't realize that whenever he absorbed the Grand Supreme Kai, he got weaker. And we saw this with his fight with Kid Buu versus Majin Buu. Majin Buu was having a very, very hard time defeating Kid Buu because, well, he just wasn't that strong. And another thing, Kid Buu was also reckless and unpredictable. So, so yeah, that made the fight even more harder. And um, yeah, I don't know what is it with people saying they are very singular and aren't really connected by major ongoing plot points. That's literally the definition of I just looked up some random YouTuber or just looked up AI and just asked it to oversimplify it. When you oversimplify it, of course you're going to get answers like this. But no, it's a lot more complicated than a lot of people think. The people that say Dragon Ball has like a singular story or no story at all, they need to get off. They need to stop listening to haters, stop listening to the YouTubers, and stop listening to these websites right here. These websites, especially websites like Screen Rant and CBR, don't do a good job explaining Dragon Ball's story. And it's low key getting me mad. Anyways, this loose sort of structure culminated in an original ending that saw Goku and Oob fly off into a future undoubtedly filled with adventures and strong opponents to beat. It could have worked just as well as the start of yet another arc. The open endlessness of the entire package is allowed for new installments just to plug themselves into the story without missing a beat. Um, I don't know what to say about this. Okay, Dragon Ball Super and the recently completed Dragon Ball Daima, as well as the number of films released in the years since the franchise's 2010s renaissance, picked up different points in the timeline and don't stand out in any overwhelmingly negative way. The series structure has allowed it to thrive as long as it has and will continue to do so whether fans like it or not. I mean, a lot of people that complain that Dragon Ball is just being aimed for like the young audience and shit like that, bro. That was literally what Dragon Ball has been doing since the very, very beginning. When Dragon Ball first came out in the 80s, its primary target were kids and teenagers. Of course, these kids and teenagers grew up to become adults. Obviously, when they watch the new stuff, it's not going to hit the same because, well, you just grew out of it. And of course, nothing in this planet is ever going to stay the same forever. There will always be a lot of changes that are going on and a lot of stuff that will affect pretty much the story and everything else that's been going on. You see, a lot of people that expect series like Dragon Ball, especially like Dragon Ball, to just stay the same are delusional. We got so many people, like I said before, like Henry, Omari, and so many other of these biased YouTubers constantly complaining how, oh my gosh, it's not the same that I grew up on. Well, my guy, of course not. And especially when the redhead Henry, which I'll probably get to his channel later on and just debunk his community post, like, bro, this guy is the definition of egotistical, narcissistic man child that I've ever seen. And if you even say something that he disagrees with, his cultists, aka his subscribers, are going to come after you and just harass you. Like, oh my gosh. And we're gonna get into one of those examples later on. You'll see later on. Okay. Anyways, let's continue with this. Dragon Ball will never end for better or worse. Okay. Dragon Ball fans likely won't complain about the prospect of never ending adventures with Goku and company, as long as there is empty space in the series timelines. There is room for a new story. However, Dragon Ball or any other popular media franchise will eventually change and evolve into something new over time. If it took you this long to figure it out, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Anyways, let's keep on reading. If the series does go on for another 4 decades, there is no telling what it might look like or how fans will react to it. That shift has already been seen a bit with Dragon Ball Daima. The selling point of the series, its flashy transformations took priority over cohesiveness. Um, oh my, flashy transform. Oh my god, bro. Oh my gosh, whatever. Despite being labeled a canon entry, Daima introduced Super Saiyan 4 back into the fold after Dragon Ball Super made the GT's form officially not. Bro, GT's been non-canon. What are you talking about? Fans weren't entirely happy with the development as it didn't fit in with the World of God Key series until that point. My guess is that we're probably going to get a Daima season 2 and just explain why we haven't gotten the Super Saiyan 4. Like, I would have been just content with Super Saiyan 4 of Daima being Demon Realm exclusive, and it just you just need to use magic to be able to get that form again. But like the whole training part, I know a lot of people said, "Oh, but Goku trained a lot." Um, I'm not. I don't really know how to feel about that. I'm kind of mixed on that, but let's just keep going. As time goes on, and Dragon Ball is forced to continue innovating in order to keep itself fresh, more of these inconsistencies are bound to creep into the series and further muddy what's come before. Um, Fans will always welcome more Dragon Ball, but those overseeing the franchise will have to be awfully careful if they want to go into the right direction. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Some of these people just. Oh my god. I have no words. Okay. Though Dragon Ball may never truly end, the franchise is facing an uncertain future without Akira Toriyama around to guide it. Well, that was pretty obvious. The series' legendary creator passed away in March 2024, and Dragon Ball has remained relatively inactive ever since. However, series producer Akio Iuko has maintained that he and the anime staff are working hard with their sights set on the future. Now it's a critical time. Now is as critical a time as ever for Yoku and others to ensure that whatever Dragon Ball product comes next is of the highest quality possible. Daima's already stumbled somewhat with its execution of Super Saiyan 4, and any future hiccups just might be a bad sign to come, especially if Toriyama's no longer here to steer the ship in the right direction. Oh my god. Dragon Ball, in the way it's structured, has everything it needs to continue on for years to come. Whether it continues in the right direction to be seen, but fans can be certain they haven't seen the last of Goku just yet. Okay, after reading this entire article, oh my god, bro. This guy has said a lot of bullshit that, of course, I'm like, bro, what the hell? And what the what the fuck? Anyways, as I was saying, there was some other stuff that I slightly agree with, but not entirely. Like, what's it called? For example, especially it just might be a bad sign of things to come, especially Toriyama is no longer. Bro, when Dragon Ball Super first came out, a lot of people were shitting on it even though Akira Toriyama was involved in it. They were saying it sucks and all that kind of shit. Now you have your own opinion. I don't care, but like, bro, come on. You can't really say that. Oh, it's gonna set a horrible direction when Toriyama is not around. When literally a lot of people were complaining about Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima. Now, yes, both Daima and Super do have their flaws. Like I kind of agree whenever people say that Super Saiyan Blue was brought in too early. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Maybe they could have introduced it a little bit further. Maybe with like U6 versus U7, I don't know, but honestly, I'm not much of a storyteller myself. I honestly don't know how I could like make it further. And for the anime only arcs, I'm not gonna lie, Copy Vegeta was just trash. Like, despite some old voice actors in the English dub like Brian Drummond, aka the Ocean dub voice actor for Vegeta, came back to quote unquote reprise his role as Vegeta in the form of Copy Vegeta. I'll admit it, hearing Brian Drummond speak as Vegeta again kind of felt nostalgic and all, but still, the Copy Vegeta arc was just not good. It was shit. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty damn forgettable. Um, Goku Black arc, however, had a really strong beginning, a strong middle as well. I can understand why people didn't really like the ending, well, because well, Trunks' entire future just dies in the end. But anyways, a lot of people that say that, oh, Goku Black should have just been evil Goku. No, that would have made it even more generic. And I can guarantee you, a lot of people that say Goku Black should have been evil Goku would have complained regardless. Like, I remember when I was first reacting to and debunking one of Morani's videos on saying, oh, I was hyped when I first saw Goku Black. No, the fuck you weren't. You were shitting on him. Tony Skeptical was right there when he saw everything, and he can confirm to you guys that, yeah, this guy was not even hype when he first saw Goku Black. He was literally shitting on him. He was literally calling him the Redhead Henry's clone, which we will see the Redhead Henry's channel later on. But anyways, he was clowning on him, and then he said, "Oh, when it was revealed that Goku Black was Zamasu, that completely destroyed everything." No, it didn't, bro. This made it even better. I'm actually glad Goku Black was just not evil Goku, because that would have been boring as hell. I'm sorry. Evil Goku is just a generic concept. I'm sorry. It's not that good. And if Goku Black was that, it wouldn't be as hype as a lot of people say it is. Oh. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Um, anyways, um, a lot of people don't realize that whenever Zamasu stole Goku's body, it has a lot more meaning and a lot more complexity than one may think. When he takes Goku's body, he's literally saying, I'm taking in the errors of mortals and applying it to myself. And that's what's happening with Goku Black. Alright. Now that we're done with this article, um, we're gonna do something incredibly risky. Okay, I'm not gonna comment on this guy and just like spread comments, but I am gonna like tell you guys, please, please, what's it called? Don't harass him and shit like that, bro. You're only gonna give him what he wants, and that is more views. Anyways, here we go. Oh my god, bro. Okay, let's see what he has to say. And we're gonna. Okay, what does it say here? My issue with the ending isn't that Goku Black won, is the fact that Trunks didn't stay in the present and just went to another timeline and nothing ever happened, and the top happens in the next arc. Yeah, honestly, that's a valid that's a valid criticism. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, yeah. Honestly, they should have kept Future Trunks a lot around for much longer at that point. But anyway, let's see which community post completely. You guys always act like you're better than. Oh my god, bro. I'm already losing brain cells just scrolling down by this. Anyways, yeah, rip Hulk Hogan. He will be missed. Okay. Okay, I did not need to see that. Okay, that doesn't interest me. Okay, speaking of this, I want you guys to know that, yep, I am. And oh my god, bro. I remember he uploaded a post saying, "Oh, this will be my last post talking about Dragon Ball Super." What is this? Bro, what is this? Come on. I thought you were done talking about Dragon Ball Super. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. You know what? Let's just see this. Good. At the minimum, however, they need to wrap up the series with a proper conclusion. Wrap the series, then stop producing the manga and anime. Keep doing video games or one of the movies. Enough is enough. That oh my god. Dude, even if they gave a proper conclusion, he's still gonna find something to complain about. He's just never gonna be happy with anything he gets. Even if it's like a callback to an old time, oh my gosh, it's gonna be bad. Okay. We need to talk about a lot of this. Mostly younger fans need to understand this series needs to end. My guy, just because you don't like it does not mean that it's shit. Okay, yes, modern Dragon Ball does have flaws. I can agree to that, but it's not completely terrible as a lot of people say it is. It's been around for 40 years. In many ways, it's already dead. No, it's not. Just because you think that does not mean it is. The franchise is already expanding for money. It's already become a zombie. Those who don't see this are blind. Oh. So what was Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT then? Were those not expanded for money? Like, come on, dude. Believe me when I tell you I want Dragon Ball to succeed. No, you don't, bro. No, you don't. You just wanted to crash and burn and just be irrelevant. Everything that you've been commenting on, you don't give proper introduction, like proper ways to make it better. You just say, just make it end. Oh my god. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Oh my gosh. When Super was first announced, I was hyped. I don't know about that, but slowly but surely, as the series aired, more and more modern day Dragon Ball content came out. It was quite clear that this modern of Dragon Ball had no heart. Okay, bro, that's stupid money argument that applies. Yes, it does. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's not just Dragon Ball that does this. It's every franchise. Every single franchise is going to make spin-offs, is going to modernize, and whether you like it or not, it's going to keep on happening. Sure, it's not going to be the exact same way that you felt when you were growing up with it. And that's okay. It's okay to not like the new stuff, but to constantly say, oh, this needs to end just because you yourself don't like it is absurd. I'm sorry, dude. Like, come on, bro. If you don't like it, stop watching it. Stop talking about it. Stop covering it. And stop engaging with it. It's that simple. That would be like if I took a series that I myself did not like, My Hero Academia, and all I did was just shit on it. Okay, for backstory, I tried to get into the series. Personally, it was just not for me. But it would be like if I took this series and all I did was just shit talk it and just talk trash about it. Like, honestly, I would just feel like a complete and utter loser if I did something like this. Like, I gotta talk about other things that I like, not just things that I hate. Now, obviously, the reason why I'm talking about him is because, well, it's entertaining. But I'm not gonna do this 24/7, because that's when it's gonna become a problem. Anyways, how many more forms can we keep giving to Goku and the gang? How many new threats we've never heard of but are somehow stronger than Goku do we need? Again, what is wrong with this? Dude, of course, that's what's gonna happen as the story progresses. More and more enemies are going to come that are stronger than Goku. We've seen this with Dragon Ball. We've seen this with Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, Daima, all of them. Again, I don't see why you're mad about this, bro. If you don't like it, stop watching it. Okay, why must our heroes regress and become characters to. How the fuck did they regress? And oh my gosh, bro. Some of these people that say, oh, they regress, most likely they've only seen Dragon Ball Z with the Funimation dub. I'm telling you guys, the Funimation dub has completely destroyed so many people with how they view Dragon Ball. Because back then, Dragon Ball tried too hard to appeal to the West. And because of this, well, Funimation just ended up tricking people into believing that Goku was something that he was not. Like, for example, when Goku was fighting against Frieza, he said something about, I am the hope of the universe. I am this, I am that, I am super. No, dude. This is. I'm sorry. This dialogue was trash, bro. This completely mischaracterized Goku. This isn't Goku at all. And of course, other people that say he regressed. And when they watch GT, guess what? They only watch the old Funimation dub. Now, granted, GT is not that good of a show. Even I can admit it, like, GT is my least favorite, though I don't hate it. It does have a lot of flaws though. But the Funimation dub has made it completely and utterly unbearable to just watch it because they've completely changed the dialogue. They've completely just destroyed everything. Like for example, I've uploaded a video where Goku's true speech to Omega Shenron, how it really was in the Japanese sub. The dub says something completely different because the dub said, "Oh, if you want good things to happen, you just gotta be good." Which, dude, that makes no sense because you're literally talking to the living embodiment of evil to be good. And also, Goku did not say that bullshit in the sub. Like, dude, Goku in the sub literally says, "I messed up. I should have taken this shit more seriously. But because of this, I gotta face the consequences." Yeah, what's up, Flick? Yeah, GT's strategy and GT spamming. Yep, that was pretty much it. Anyways, let's see what we see. Dragon Ball is afraid to leave the party. There is a danger of staying in the spotlight too long. You lose your edge, your sharpness, a once grateful, meaningful, and respected exit can turn into a tragic failure of ruining your. See, again, just because you don't like it does not mean it's a failure. Oh my god. Like when I tell you this guy's egotistical and narcissistic, that's literally who he is. Anyways, um, let's see what it says. That going on top moment has been ruined by greed, not knowing when to quit. And there is one thing Goku, by comparison, Dragon Ball is famous for, is not knowing when to quit, never giving up. Again, what is the problem with this? Like, dude, if you don't like it, stop watching it. It's that simple. Oh my god. Like, dude, and we're gonna keep on scrolling down, and you're gonna see even more community posts of him. You're gonna end up losing even more brain cells. Because when I tell you it's bad, it is bad. Oh my god. So I put it to you, other fans. Has Dragon Ball's overstayed its welcome? No. Has Dragon Ball ruined its legacy by trying to continue to be relevant and take the spotlight for even longer? No. And if the main goal is younger people, why is this a problem? That was literally what Dragon Ball has been doing since the very beginning. This isn't anything new. Anyways, I firmly believe that it has, and that is very sad, considering that it was a revolutionary series that changed the landscape for anime and manga, inspiring generations of artists, fans, and storytellers. It's still doing that, bro. And just because you don't like it, does not mean it's a failure. Now it globes on to stay relevant in the spotlight when I and many others have already been hit by the final blow. It just hasn't been. Yeah. Speaking of strategy, I like how Super Goku is a lot more strategic to win fights instead of winning, just because he was stronger for the most part in Z. Yeah, yeah, that's what I like about Dragon Ball Super. It's expanding more and more. Anyways, does the drawing of the scruffy beard and glasses meme look familiar, guys? Always reminds me of that one. All right. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Post Cell Saga saw the beginning of what would soon become a downward spiral of character growth and over exaggeration of personality. Oh, great. This would later evolve our heroes over the top character. Oh my god, bro. Goku and friends get locked in to becoming over the top characters by over exaggerating their personality. Oh my god, bro. Oh, oh my god, bro. I'm already losing more and more brain cells reading this. Uh, okay. When you watch Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, you can see a clear evolution and growth of characters. Um, we see this in modern Dragon Ball too, but okay. Um, Goku specifically is the main hero. He may influence others around him, but that does not strictly make him a catalyst character. Goku grows from being young and naive into strategic and owned individual who's clearly learned from his past. That's still going on right now, but okay. This goes for both characters. But by the time we hit the Buu Saga, is where stagnation sets in and repeat mode is pushed indefinitely. And if that's the case, the people who say he regressed in Super, just look at Z. By his logic right here, if that's where stagnation happens, then you can say in the Buu Saga that's where Goku regressed. Even though Goku didn't really regress. Because he's a Saiyan by nature, he's going to underestimate some opponents and overestimate his value. And that's still a flaw that's going on to this day. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. Of course, he can learn by this flaw and not try to do it again. But of course, he'll do this at some point later on in the future. But, dude, again, flaws are what make a character better. If you had no flaws, you're not a good character. Anyways, then in Dragon Ball Super, Goku regresses as well as, oh my god, again with this argument, bro. Oh my god, bro. Again, just because you've watched it in the old Funimation dub does not automatically make you a genius. Anyways, people can never refute the Boo Saga argument when they hate on Super. Of course they can't. Because people are too blinded by nostalgia to even look forward. Anyways, when you compare Goku from the Cell Saga to the Goku in Super, you can clearly see a difference. One is mature, while the other is developed into. Oh my. Oh my god, bro. Oh man. This is just sad, bro. This is just sad. Dragon Ball has gone on so long with autopilot mode turned on that feels repetitive. Okay, to a point, I can somewhat agree with Dragon Ball Super superhero being a callback to the Cell Saga, but repetitive, uh, I don't see too much repetition if I'm being honest. The only time I really saw repetition was, like I said before, the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, which I know a lot of people love, and trust me, I love it too. But yeah, I can understand why people say that it was like a callback to the Cell Saga, and it was kind of like ripping it off a little bit. But it's not exactly the same thing, which is what I like, because more characters are being involved and not just like, Gohan and Cell having the entire spotlight. We also see that characters are being tricked, like Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and Dr. Hito literally being tricked by the Red Ribbon Army saying, hey, yeah, Goku and his friends, they're the evil people. They must be stopped. And of course, this also leads Dr. Hito to develop Cell Max, which is not perfect yet, but is forced to pull him out. And I can understand why people didn't really like Cell Max because, well, I understand because, like, oh my god, they're bringing him back and bullshit like that. But honestly, it's not too bad. If I'm being for real with you, it's not a bad movie. Anyways, okay. Dragon Ball has gone on. Oh, never mind. It also doesn't help that both Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima take place as a post-Boo, pre-Oob era, making the audience stuck in this time period of what feels like forever, never pushing the story forward past Oob. This image captures perfectly the transition of what was into what will eventually come through. Oh my god, bro, this is getting ridiculous. If you enjoyed modern Dragon Ball, that's fine. But dude, why are you shitting on people that like it as well? Like, I'm just happy seeing Piccolo get that back in the spotlight. Yeah, I'm happy too, bro. Like Piccolo, he definitely needed he definitely needed a boost. He definitely needed something new. Cause I'm not gonna lie, seeing Piccolo looking the exact same. Yes, I know Piccolo got stronger, but we didn't really see him get a new form, and that's what I like about Dragon Ball Super Superhero. They gave him a form, and it was actually executed well, and that's what I like. But in my robust and accurate opinion, again, just because you think it's accurate does not mean it's not. Does not mean it is. I mean, it's utter garbage, but it's fast food for kids wanting for more content. Oh my. Then why are you consuming it? Why? Anyways, okay, that doesn't interest me. How do you know so much about Dragon Ball Z? Me, bro, I was there. Whatever. What if I went back and animated? No offense, that does not look good. But that's just my honest opinion. If you like it, good for you. I personally, nah, nah. Anyways, okay. What's another community post that is gonna like? Okay, I would want to see this animated. Moral's one of the few things that is done well and is a very creative arc and anime. However, it will most likely be butchered in some capacity, translated from paper to TV. Whatever. Go stop. Oh my god. Say something nice about this forum. I'll start. Of course, he's not gonna say anything nice, bro. Yeah, robust and accurate opinion. Good lord, I'm telling you, bro. This guy is so egotistical and narcissistic that he's a complete and utter man child,
and anything that he doesn't like, he calls it a failure. Like, dude, I personally don't like My Hero Academia, but I'm not gonna shit on it constantly say, "Oh yeah, it's a failure" and shit like that when it was continuing on and had a conclusive ending for the most part. But if a lot of people liked it, good for them. I personally didn't really like it, but that's just my opinion. Okay, which is more iconic? Well, obviously, um, hey, that's good. Want a butt? Okay, your father was an average fighter, Kakarot, but he was a brilliant. Again, Funimation dub. I'm sorry. Okay, that doesn't interest me. Okay, okay. Self discriminate. Okay, that doesn't interest me either. I've got to see the other one. Um, I know there was another. Yeah, Dragon Ball Daima won the best anime series award. More like best. Just say you're mad, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Just cry about it. Womp womp. Your opinion does not matter, bro. I'm sorry. Get out of my freaking pool space, man. Goodbye, new. Okay. Majin Buu wasn't in top. This graphic is not accurate. But that doesn't interest me. No. Oh, so glad I grew up with this, not this. Oh my god. Okay. We got Redhead Henry versus. Oh my gosh, bro. Now I already know some of his cultists are probably gonna come after me and just like completely shit on me. I don't really care, bro. I've dealt with a lot of bullshit this day, bro. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. I'm probably gonna. I think he also made a video of talking about Goku Black, which I'll probably get into later on in this stream. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. 30 years later, 1995 is better looking. How do we do? Probably because this was a trailer and not a reboot. Do people just look at one frame and think that, oh, they're reanimating? No, this is a Dragon Ball Heroes trailer, my guy. Oh my god. Of course, it's not gonna look that good. Obviously, it's not gonna capture the same energy, but dude, this is a trailer, not an episode. Oh my god. Anyways, what is your in-universe reason as to why his colors changed? Color filter. That's simple. Um. Okay. Okay. Being a Dragon Ball fan is not a blanket statement that means you'll enjoy all Dragon Ball. Okay, what this guy is meaning to say, it's not whether or not you hate Dragon Ball Daima and Super. It's when you make this shit your entire personality. And that's what you're doing right now, bro. That's what you've been doing for a while. I don't have a problem with you hating on Dragon Ball Super and Daima. That's fine. My problem is that you made it your entire personality. That's why I have a problem with you. Okay, if you're a Dragon Ball fan and you find zero things wrong with any of it, blindly supporting, you may be again. Just because you don't like it does not mean it's a failure or that people are retarded. My guy, oh my god, bro. Anyways, joking aside, one can enjoy whatever they want through. There's no judgment. Most older fans don't care for modern Dragon Balls, and that's fine. That's fine if you don't like it. My problem again is like I'm saying, you're making this your entire personality. And that's what I hate about you, bro. Oh my god. In any real offense, I know a lot of people do say I love Dragon Ball wanted to succeed. Again, no, you don't. You just wanted to crash and burn, but okay. But real talk. Um, as the kids say nowadays, let's just call it how it is. Daima was bro. Oh my god. Henry just mad Dragon Ball Super created an evil Goku. Of course he is, bro. Anyways, and it's funny how he hates Dragon Ball Super, but here's the funny part. His most viewed video is Evil Goku versus Goku Black. And if you think I'm making that up, go to his channel. You're gonna find that. Anyways, let's see what it says. You can draw a direct line from Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT, and skip all the retarded. Oh my god, bro. Timelines where character growth regresses to stupidity. Again, just because you think it's that way is not what's actually happening. Yes, I'm a modern Dragon Ball fan, but modern Dragon Ball is just shit. That means if I'm a villain, I'll proudly wear that hat. Dude, I have no problem with you not liking it. Like I said before, you're making this shit your entire personality. And that's what makes me mad. Anyways, okay, now you go on. Oh my god, bro. After Stell, he became stuck in this rinse and repeat cycle where he must repeat the same character arc over and over again for plot. More brain cells being lost. Oh my god. And again, what is the problem with studying and working, bro? Do people just want Gohan to be miserable all the time? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Nah, whatever, that doesn't interest me. Um, okay. Nope. Let's see what's another one that... Wait, didn't you... He posted the exact same shit from 2 months ago to right now. Come on, bro. Dragon Ball Daima becomes the first anime. All I gotta say is just womp womp. Stay mad. Slim Blue, one of the few good things to come out of Dragon Ball Super. Yeah. Super Gohan learned from his mistakes of neglecting his training. Of course he did, and that's what I like about him. Anyways, Dragon Ball Z hits Zimmerman. Of course it does. That's pretty obvious. Okay, everything post Cell Saga has gone downhill. We flatlined post. Oh my god! Just because you didn't like it does not mean it's bad. Okay. Okay, that doesn't interest me. Um, okay. Bringing 17 back in Dragon Ball Super was a mistake and includes major issues. Oh, great. Oh, fucking brother. Where was he against Boo? Stopping poachers? Where was he when Golden Frieza showed up? Milking cows? Again, I, I, I don't really see a problem with this, but okay. Roughly 13 years in universe. Does Andrew 17 have any training alone in the woods? Clearly he did whenever he was going toe to toe with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Um, he doesn't fight any other major characters, so we see him just before top. He has a family. He protects animals for all realistic purposes. He has not fought anyone near his power. Again, what is wrong with this? I swear, when people have lives, people just get mad. They just want people to be miserable 24/7. My head canon for years prior to Dragon Ball Super was I thought that the androids could not get stronger. Even if they could, it would be a minimal increases. Um, well, that was just head canon. And thank you for admitting that. The only thing they have is unlimited energy, but unlimited energy wouldn't be enough to take hits from Jiren or others much more powerful enemies. Again, training, going head to head with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. That's all I've got to say. Android 17 is not a Saiyan. Obviously not. He doesn't have transformations or multipliers and can't grow stronger after nearing death battles. Did we watch the same series? Oh my god. Right, the only problem y'all got again, Dragon Ball Super 17, is him being Super Saiyan Blue level when characters in 11 months are training casually above Raditz, and it's even bigger in the Frieza saga. Obviously, yeah. I can understand why people just didn't really like 17 or like some other stuff that's been happening, but like, dude, people are not gonna stay the same forever. Obviously, there's training, there's a life, there's many others that happened. Like, there's multiple things that have happened off screen, but okay, whatever. And he has trained alone in the woods for 13 years, and according to Dragon Ball Super, he has now surpassed Perfect Cell, Dabura, every version of Boo. Um, no, this is terrible. How is that terrible writing, dude? Like, of course, when you train more and you want to get stronger, of course, this is your result. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna bother reading. Anyways, I want you to notice two things: the amount of votes, the order from the best to worst. Dragon Ball Z. Oh my god, bro! Just say you're narcissistic and move on. Like, holy shit, bro! Oh my god. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, none of you believe me. Next time I'll repost the same. Oh my god, no. Again, just say that you're narcissistic. Anyways, in just 2 days of intense training with Piccolo and Goku, Goku was able to regain his ultimate form back, remain as the last 10 fighters of the Tournament of Power. Yeah. Eliminate 9 members from the tournament, gain respect from Lord Beerus. Again, how is this bad? Oh my god. Okay. It'd be horrible writing for him to be as strong as himself despite 13 years of training. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, okay. Let's just keep on. Okay, that doesn't interest me. Rather, neither, I'm being honest. AI is out of control. Okay, I already know that I'm gonna run into that community post, and I'm gonna tell you guys it's gonna get bad. Yeah, guess this guy doesn't even watch his own series. He was training all throughout Super post Goku Black Arc. Of course he was. Like that should be obvious. Anyways, okay. You ever stop and realize everything said in the Dragon Ball community has been said a million times? The same debates and conversations over and over that lead to little to no resolution. It's tiresome, the cycle of all. I mean, 30 years have passed and people are still arguing whether Kid Buu or Buhan is the strongest version of Buu. I honestly could not care less. A new manga chapter is going to come out soon. How predictable will both the chapter and the conversations that will follow will it be? I can venture a guess it will be something like this. Manga chapter drops, social media influences amp it up to the extreme. Kids and again, because they don't have the same opinion of as you does not make them dumb. Oh my god. Again and again, he just resorts to insults. Like, dude, this is just sad. Oh my god. Okay. If you care, I have Kid Buu greater than Buhan. Well, honestly, just believe what you want to believe. I just stopped caring about Kid Buu versus Buhan. Anyways, okay, great. More AI slop. Whatever. You know my stance. Does Dragon Ball need to end, or is it the next Pokemon again? I don't see how this is a problem, but okay. Um, great. More AI slop. Daima isn't canon. Vegeta looks better with his hair up instead of down for Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 4. Uh, what the fuck is this? Oh my gosh, I'm losing so many brain cells watching this. Oh my god. Okay. Um. Okay. What's another one that? Okay, Bardock Z greater than Bardock. Okay, this might be interesting. A badass Saiyan warrior who does not need to be Jor-El. Bardock was never Jor-El to begin with, but okay. Who does not need to be wished back and does not need to be introduced to Goku as an adult. Why is this a problem? Dragon Ball Z Bardock is a brutal, Saiyan-like warrior, while Dragon Ball Super Bardock is more family-oriented and empathetic. Why is this a problem, dude? Oh my god. I swear, people just want people to just be cold-blooded killers and that's it. And Bardock and Z wasn't even that cold-blooded to begin with. Like, dude, in the Bardock special, the Saiyans are all badass, ruthless pirates. You can look at any background Saiyan in the bar scene or any scene. They still were in modern Dragon Ball. I don't see what's your issue. In fact, the Granola Saga, we see the Saiyans becoming pirates, destroying planet cereal. This is this is not anything new. Oh my god. The Super Bardock hate is forced this out. Yes, it is, dude. Oh my god. People just make up the most absurd reasons why to hate Super Bardock. And it's just so annoying. Anyways, um, even in the flashbacks that Raditz tells Goku about, or King Kai tells Goku about, any Saiyans in those shots look 100 times more badass than all the background Saiyans combined in the Broly movie. Okay, that's your opinion. That doesn't change the fact that Frieza oppressed them And of course, they're going to look like weaklings because Frieza was stronger than the Saiyans. Whether you're watching the Bardock special, whether you're watching Dragon Ball Super Broly, it doesn't change the fact that the Saiyans got reduced because of Frieza. Hey, no, not blaming Broly for changing Bart. Oh my god. This is happening. Oh my god. The Saiyans and Broly were essentially reduced to. And the same special was. Did we watch the same special? Bardock's crew literally got reduced to a laughingstock by Dodoria, Zarbon, and all of Frieza's top henchmen. My guy. Oh my god. All right, don't get me wrong. I love the Broly movie. No, you don't, but okay. But the direction they took Bardock and the Saiyan race was terrible. There's literally almost no difference with the special and the movie. It's just that the art style changed, the outfits were different, and Bardock just appears, according to you, a bit more nicer than how he actually is. When in reality, the Saiyans were always pirates. Bardock was out here destroying shit. You're telling me that, oh, because he comes from a cold blooded race, he can't have empathy? Are you serious? Oh my god. It was as if watching any other anime depicting any other anime style alien race that do nothing. This is the Saiyan Empire. There should be some lawlessness. There was until Frieza showed up. Like, dude, the Saiyans were literally destroying planets, destroying everything. It's just when Frieza came in, they had to be reduced. They only destroyed whether Frieza when Frieza ordered them to destroy stuff. Before Frieza, they were always ruthless pirates. We've seen this with the Granola arc. Oh my god. Okay. Instead, we get Goku's mom wearing. Oh my god. So we didn't watch the same special at all. We didn't even watch. Like, dude, if you tell some of these Z elitists and these geriatrics to rewatch the old shit, obviously some of them will be like, wait, this isn't how I remembered it. Because as we get older, our perspective towards things changed. Like back then, I was always like, oh, old shit is always better, new shit is trash. Now, obviously, that's true for some occasions, but that's not true for every occasion. Because, like, uh, I can name you like a few examples where something like this were to happen. Like, all right, hey, what's up? We're talking about Redhead Henry. I see. Yep, yes, we are, bro. And I'm telling you right now, Dr. J, I am losing so many brain cells reading these community posts. But anyway, as to back what I was saying, for example, um, what's it called? Daredevil 2003 and the Daredevil show now. Okay, I have a place for the Daredevil movie because I grew up with this. I was born in 2005. I grew up with this movie. Now rewatching it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I understand why people didn't really like this movie and like the new modern Daredevil show because they've been producing more episodes. It's been getting a lot of hype and stuff like that, and people love the new show. But with the movie, on the other hand, with Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan, Jennifer Garner, obviously people didn't really like it because they said it was too humorous or some other kind of stuff like that. I understand why people didn't like the movie and like the new show. I understand that. I, for one, I'll say it. I kind of like that movie because, well, I grew up with it, even though it's bad. I can admit it. Fantastic Four, 2005. Okay, a lot of people hate it. I know, and a lot of people love it too. I love this movie a lot as well. Um, Obviously, when 2015 happened, yeah, that's when Fantastic Four started to go downhill. That movie was shit. But then the new movie that came out a while ago had a lot of praise, even though the casting was kind of controversial, but that's besides the point. A lot of people like the new Fantastic Four movie because apparently, to a lot of people, he had good writing, good villain, some other shit. Yeah, I could go into a lot more detail, but you guys get the point. Not everything that's old is good, and not everything that's new is bad. Like, dude, oh my god. Anyways, let's keep this up. One of the biggest mysteries back in the day was who was Goku's mom. A theory everyone asked. Was it Fasha? I would have hated it if it was Fasha, by the way. Was it a Saiyan princess? Who knew? These were the great mysteries of Dragon Ball never answered. Questions like the Demon Realm and others. Again, um, what's the problem with Gine being Goku's mom? I don't get it. Anyways, and like what modern Dragon Ball loves to do, destroy mystery. No, solve mystery, bro. Just because you find it mysterious does not mean it should stay a mystery forever. Like, dude, everyone was dying to know who Goku's mom was, and now we got it. Again, what is the problem with this? I don't see a problem with this at all. Anyways, I can't be the only one who noticed these changes. The Saiyans were portrayed as losers in the Broly movie. Again, the special Bardock's crew got demolished by Frieza's henchmen, Dodoria and Zarbon. Oh my god. It's sad. Vegeta was always speaking of the great warrior race. Still is, by the way, where all they do is walk around and politely ask each other questions, constantly filling the void of timeline before the inevitable. We miss you, Z Barak, and your Z Saiyan brethren. May you forever be a badass in the depths of HIFL with your comrades in arms. Glory to the Saiyan Empire. Oh my. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, of course, giving us more lore is somehow a bad thing. Bro, tell that to GT fans, Z Elitists, and all these geriatrics, bro. They want things to just stay mysterious and say, oh, we'll never find out about this. But when we get the answer, they're like, this is ass. Just because it's not the way that they wanted it to be executed. Z Elitists will never be pleased. Of course they won't. They're stuck in the past. I have respect for Henry. I used to subscribe to him. Hey, when I was 15, I used to subscribe to this guy. I used to watch his sprite animations. In fact, the video I liked to see of the Redhead Henry the most was Evil Goku versus Goku Black, which again, like I said, is his most viewed video despite him shitting on Goku Black. Like, oh my gosh. I remember I would always watch these sprite animations and I would always be entertained. I would be lying if I said I hated them because I found them entertaining as a teenager. But now seeing how he acts, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. You just lost a subscriber. But I couldn't handle the negativity anymore. It felt like more obsession more than criticism. Of course. Who was making the Saiyans look like weaklings again? Oh yeah, the strongest guy in the universe. Yes! That's what I'm saying, bro. And it's not even the strongest guy in the universe. It was his henchmen in the Z special, Dodoria and Zarbon. They treated like the Saiyans like they were nothing. I only heard of Henry recently. He just seems like an Omari 2.0. Oh my god. He is infinitely better and infinitely worse than Omari. Because infinitely better because he agrees the fact that GT has flaws. He even like criticized the Super 17 arc as being retarded and Piccolo's death just being like shit. But infinitely worse because he makes hating Dragon Ball Super and all of modern Dragon Ball his entire personality. Times 10, by the way. Like, oh my god, it's really, really bad. Anyways, okay. Okay. Whatever you okay, was it? Oh my god. Okay, what is your favorite? That doesn't really. Okay, exposing the dark side of the Dragon Ball fandom. Okay. I've always wanted to talk about this in great detail, as I've mentioned it a few times over the years, but not in great length. So in today's post, we will skim the surface of this topic and shift gears from Red, you're a modern Dragon Ball hater, to the depths of the modern. Well, you are one, and that's okay. The problem I have with you, again, like I said, is that you made that shit your entire personality. Look, to everyone watching, I don't care if you hate the new stuff that Dragon Ball is producing. That's fine. I don't care. Not everyone is going to like the new stuff, and that is okay. Where we start to have a problem is when you make this shit your entire personality, like this narcissistic, egotistical man child is doing. This man is literally just making the shit his entire personality. And if you even dared speak out against him, his cultists will come after you and shit on you and call you a Karen for speaking the truth. Oh my god. Anyways, other Dragon Ball Sprite animation communities, Dragon Ball Discords, Twitter users, and YouTubers with medium large followings have some potentially wild behavior happening within their groups. No, then so basically your group, by the way, but to a certain extent from what I have personally witnessed, and I'm sure many of you have too, a lot of them. As sure as most of you have been informed, Dragon Ball anime and other online communities can sometimes act as a front for potentially dangerous, abusive, and activity. Um, yeah, this isn't anything new. I don't know why you're saying this because it's not just anime that has this kind of shit. It's gaming fandoms, movie fandoms, show fandoms, and a lot more. In fact, let me tell you guys. Let me tell you guys something. To the people that say Dragon Ball has the worst fandom, oh my god, they have not seen anything yet. I literally have been a part of multiple fandoms, such as Star Wars, Plants vs. Zombies, um, Marvel, a lot of other shit, bro. And I can tell you, these fandoms are far worse than the Dragon Ball fandoms. Especially especially some other anime fandoms like My Hero Academia, um, and gaming fandoms like Super Smash Brothers. And this is coming from someone who loves Super Smash Brothers himself. I literally have a Nintendo Switch. I play that game a lot with my friends. But holy crap, the community is filled with a bunch of PDFs, weirdos, groomers, and so many other bullshit. In fact, some other people literally harassed Masahiro Sakurai because he didn't include Waluigi in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And because of this, Sakurai just closed off commissions and suggestions, and he no longer accepted memes from anyone, even though they were harmless. The One Piece fandom is way worse. Yes, yes, it is, bro. Oh my gosh. For some reason, One Piece fans, they just don't want to talk about their own show. They just want to talk about other shows, shit on them, and speak about why One Piece is better. And not only that, agenda piece, shipping, and some other bullshit like that. Oh my gosh. The amount of people I constantly see shipping Straw Hats and a bunch of other bullshit like that that's been going on, I'm like, bro, I want to die. I want to just jump off a cliff after seeing that. Anyways, let's keep reading. Um, what's interesting to me is how some of these influencers, animators, voice actors, sprite anime artists, animators accumulate such a mass following, but then allow such behavior to happen within their groups, either openly or behind closed doors. Bro's just exposing himself right now, bro. Oh my god. Were these individuals corrupted by their own followers? Were they already deviants themselves? Perhaps a mixture of both, where the like minded behavior begins to flourish, which is why, in part of we as a society have become so desensitized to bullshit and begin to embrace radicalized behavior. That plus a mixture of fame effect, which happens when a loser nobody becomes a fame and fortune somebody through social media. Um, we've seen this a lot. I don't know why you have to explain this. Plus, whenever you said what's it called? Were these individuals corrupted by their own followers, bro? I think you were corrupted back when it was like first starting, bro. Anyways, I have accumulated knowledge of events and over the years recipients of some of the well-known and not very well-known Dragon Ball influencers, sprite animations, communities, and Dragon Ball YouTubers that have engaged in pretty illegal activity and shady activity. Well, I'm not gonna say Redhead Henry it does that, though he is a pretty toxic man, but compared to a lot of other people, he is nice. Like, for example, there is this one guy that is very well known and is very well hated. And for a good reason, by the way. The green skinned mitten avatar that shall not be named. If you know what I'm talking about, good for you. And if you don't, well, just look it up yourself. All you gotta know is, bro's a pedophile. That's literally what he is. He literally has made a bunch of art and a bunch of other creepy stuff that has been going on. And because of this, it caused a lot of people to just draw the green man who shall not be named and just put him in like scenarios where he's just getting destroyed by Gogeta and a lot of other characters in the Dragon Ball fandom as well. Because when I tell you he is toxic, it's bad. His Discord messages to a minor also have gotten leaked. And because of that, nobody has let him see the light of day ever again. And I'm glad for that. Because this man does not deserve to be out in public anymore or even have a platform. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's him. The green man. The green skin man. All I know his name, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to give this man clout. All you gotta know, like I said before, he's a he's a oh my god, can't say the word. Yeah, he's an official PDF. That's what I was gonna look for. Anyways, but what I'm talking about at the level of attention it could garner is on a whole other level. I've seen throughout a mini doc about all this, not calling individuals or groups by names perhaps, but the overall darkness that lurks within lower echelons of fandom from the online communities you think are safe, but actually prey upon you starting with what you are passionate about. What are your thoughts on this? Like, okay, this guy is incredibly toxic. This guy has a cult like following, but compared to the guy that I just talked about, he made this guy look like a nice guy. Like, oh my god, that's how bad it is. Anyways, all I'm gonna say is fandoms. They all have their, they all have pretty dark history, especially fandoms like Sonic, FNAF, Plants vs Zombies, Smash Bros, My Hero Academia. There's a lot more fandoms that I can just cover, and I think I'll make a video or a live stream all about the worst fandoms in this world. Like, it's bad. Okay, Super Saiyan God is still badass. Oh, okay. Let's see what he has to say. One of the few radical things to come out of Super, but just as quickly as it was introduced, it was forgotten about and replaced with Okay, I understand why people hate Super Saiyan Blue, and trust me, Blue is not that good of a transformation, but I'm not gonna just say it's the worst thing to come out of Dragon Ball, because it's not. There's a lot of other things that are even worse than Super Saiyan Blue. Okay, Super Saiyan God is one of the few things from Super that I somewhat enjoyed, but part of the many reasons I dislike Dragon Ball Super to begin with is the fact that this form was forgotten for about pretty much the entire series till roughly over the midway through the manga pre-Moro, and not surfacing again till the end of the anime. What is an unbelievable, terrible idea to introduce fans to a new form which is never seen again for months, years, replacing it with great. Okay, like I said before, I'll admit it. Super Saiyan God should have gotten a lot more screen time. I will agree with that. Super Saiyan Blue should have gotten like introduced later on. And see, um, give me a moment. See, okay. I guess we'll just. All right, guys, I'm back. Um, sorry, it's just like family matter, just had to happen, and some other stuff. Um, I think in like about 10 minutes, I'm gonna like close the stream, but I'm gonna use these 10 minutes wisely. Anyways, as I was saying, Super Saiyan Grade 3 is worse. Yeah. And Super Saiyan Rage. Yeah, I'll admit it. Super Saiyan Rage was not that good of a form. Though, yeah, it could have been a lot better. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, the disrespect Super gives itself with its first new form. I quite like the flare, flame fire aura, and red hair. Reminds me of someone. Ego was really that big. Oh my god. Anyways, the best timeline. Okay. I'm trying not to laugh. Okay. If you want to think this, go ahead. But let's see what he says. Saw some dude post his pic quality and quickly summed up why this is the best timeline to watch Dragon Ball. Oh god. You want to explain it at somewhat a high level why I agree? There's a division in the fandom that pits GT against super fans. Um, that's been happening since day one. Okay, this is retarded because fans are so scattered with thoughts that make no sense after the time. Um, damn, he's also exposing himself as well. Um, they then bucket themselves with like-minded people based on what they like. Is that not what you're doing right now, bro? Naturally, tribalism takes hold, and suddenly you have anti-super, anti-GT camps fighting it out. You guessed it, social media, over something that's clearly subjective. Then why are you treating your opinions as objective facts? Like, dude, come on. To make it perfectly clear, as as retards in the past have tried to speak on my behalf, I do not dislike GT, but I do not consider it to be that much better than Super. Um, what were the last posts then? But okay, it still ranks pretty low on my tier list. It just so happens to rank higher than Dragon Ball Super for a few reasons. Well, it's your opinion, I guess. Um, so you do say it's better than Super. That's okay, bro. That's not a problem. Like I said before, you made that shit your entire personality, and that's what makes me mad. Anyway, that said, I do not consider myself in either camp. I dislike Super with a passion for the hundreds of reasons I have explained in my videos and previous posts. While both GT and Super have problems, same with Z and Dragon Ball, there is one definitive conclusion as to why this timeline outshines Dragon Ball Super. The ending to Dragon Ball. Oh. Endings alone cannot save a series, I'm sorry. Yes, GT did have somewhat of a good ending, but overall, the series was not good. Yeah, GT is mid in my opinion. Yep, it honestly is. It's not dog shit, but it's not good either. It's just mid. I'm sorry. First saga was trash. Second saga, surprisingly, not that bad. Third saga somehow got worse, and the fourth saga, mid. I'm sorry. Black Star Dragon Ball arc should just not exist. And Baby Saga, honestly, that was a good saga. Not gonna lie, it did have some flaws, like for example, using the planet Earth to turn into Great Ape. How would I have made it better? Using a blood moon, and then say a blood moon emits stronger blood waves that causes Great Apes to turn into a golden Great Ape, thus making Super Saiyan 4 more achievable. That, in my opinion, would have made it way better than just using planet Earth to turn Great Ape. And also when we get to the Baby Vegeta Great Ape versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that's when that's when it slowly starts to get downhill from there. Because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked the execution, but well, no, not the execution, like the concept, but the execution, it started out okay and then it just went to shit. I'm sorry. Super 17. Yeah, I'm sorry. That arc was shit. That arc was short. One of the most forgettable arcs in my opinion. As for the Shadow Dragon arc, only Ice, Nova, and Omega Shenron were amazing Shadow Dragons. The rest of the Shadow Dragons, on the other hand, were boring, bland, and dog shit. That also looked terrible too. Okay. Yet I see, yet I use, yet I see posts from him before talking about Super Saiyan 4 is better than this and it's my favorite form. That bro literally sucks out Super Saiyan 4. Yeah, nice idea. The other flaw is where GT gets too far out of control. Yeah, a lot of people that say Super focuses way too much on Goku. What the fuck was GT then? Not to mention, he's one of those people that say Goku's more mature in GT. Yup. And again, like I said, the people who say this only watch small clips, only watched it in the old Funimation dub, and the old Funimation dub has tricked people into believing that Goku was something that he's not. Like, I can name you a couple of scenes where Goku acts so retarded in GT. For example, Goku was literally getting kidnapped by robbers, and he didn't even realize it. He could not count to 10 when fighting God of Destruction Lud. But some people will say, oh, it's not the numbers, it's the rhythm. My guy, that doesn't make it any better because rhythm is also part of Battle IQ. You also gotta time it right. And that's what Goku's Battle IQ literally does, bro. And the worst part, literally, Goku fires Ki Blast as Super 17 despite knowing that shit don't work. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. There's so many things that I can say that Goku in GT was such a dumbass. But of course, people don't want to listen to that because they're only watching the old Funimation dub, only watching small little clips, and constantly shitting on Super. And of course, we're never gonna see that. But oh my god, bro, it's so bad. Anyways, Goku and the Dragon Balls are synonymous. There's a great deal of symbolism in Dragon Ball, and you can't have Dragon Ball without Goku. At least that's what officially licensed products show us nowadays. Well, tell that to the people who try to replace Goku with Gohan or Goten. Like, bro. Anyways, the ending to GT, while there are some issues, clearly have a definitive story ending to the story which pits Goku and his friends against the very things that they've been using good throughout the entire series. The cracking of the Dragon Balls, the Shadow Dragons, and Goku becoming one with the Dragon Balls in the end holds a very deep meaning to how it ends, and you get a full cycle moment, a yin yang symbolism. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. The whole idea of oh the Dragon Balls were overused was such a stupid way on why the Shadow Dragons happened. How would I make it better? Well, just I would make it as to one or two people decided to use the Dragon Balls, and they have made a wish so corrupted, so far evil, and it's not just selfish, but it just made the world miserable. It just made everything worse, and because of that, Shenron says the next time someone uses these Dragon Balls, a great terror and a great evil would come out of it. That would have made me like the Shadow Dragon arc more. Like they're using the Dragon Balls for evil, corrupted, and so many like devastations that will cause the world to become a worse place. So, but overusing the Dragon Balls, I'm sorry, that was just a stupid reason. So this is the guy you was yapping about. Um, for now, yep. Anyways, let's see. When Super eventually ends, and it will end, we have to remember that it still takes place within Z timeline prior to Oop. Unless Super gets a memory and power scale wipe, it's its own continuity and cannot and does not connect to GT in any way. Well, that's pretty obvious. At least you know. Which means the ending is Super, if it still follows the events of Z, must end before or during the Oop. Well, there is a thing called retconning. You can retcon the end of Z, change up some stuff. Doesn't have to be the exact same way as how it first ended. Anyways, to me, the ending of Super will then not hold as much weight or impact as symbolism as to the end of Dragon Ball GT. Again, that's literally how time works. As time goes on, things are going to change. Some of the old stuff you used to like aren't going to hit the same anymore. And obviously, the new versions of all things aren't going to hit the same. And that's okay. They don't have to hit the same. Their main goal is money, the young demographic, and be successful. And that's what's been happening. Just because you yourself don't like it, or just because you consider it a failure, does not mean it's objectively a failure. That would be like I took another thing that I personally didn't like. What's it called? There's too many. Actually, there's so many video games that I myself didn't like. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't think. There's too many things that I don't really like, and yet. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's a good example? Um. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just take this video game as an example. I know some people might hate me on this. Okay, like Animal Crossing. Okay, it's just an example. I don't hate this game actually. I'm just using this as an example. I'm just saying, oh, it's a successful failure because they're still making more and it's appealing to the younger demographic. Dude, that's what's gonna happen to every product. Nothing is gonna stay the same forever. That's how that's how time works. Anyways, despite the poor execution that everyone always says, GT may have fumbled with a lot of things, but it still felt like Dragon Ball most of the time. It still made up for some continuity and mishaps in the end, which is why I partly believe GT is superior to Super. Uh, okay, you can believe GT superior to Super. That's all. I don't care, but it's still made up for continuity and missteps. Not really. I'm sorry. Okay, GT is still pretty bad, but does have some good story arcs and gave us the second most badass form in the series. There's only one story arc that was actually good. I'm not gonna say it was like perfect or anything like that. It was just like decent, and that was the Baby Saga. And even then, it still had flaws, like I said before. With each Shadow Dragon representing a Dragon Ball and a wish, and Goku and Squad having to combat what was in the form of the dragon. This is symbolic. Honestly, not really. The overuse of the Dragon Balls was such a stupid way. Anyways, because we're now going to full circle, what happens, what wishes came before, only now it is having to combat the wishes that were made as physical representation as the dragon. The title of the show, Dragon Ball, and now having used the Dragon Balls for the good, the anchor of the series are now evil and must be stopped. Um, Again, like I said, it would have been so much better if someone or people in general took the Dragon Balls, made the most heinous wish ever that caused destruction and mayhem, and then caused the Dragon Balls to become corrupted. That would have made it a lot better, in my opinion. But of course, you guys are free to disagree with me on that. Anyways, this was great. It was brought up a lot of unanswered questions. Wait. Hold on. You first said, oh, it's better if things are staying mysterious. But now you say, oh, it's good that it answered unanswered questions? Bro, which one is it? Oh my god. I wonder why the Shadow Dragons aren't in Super despite more wishes being used. Well, I'm gonna say this. Um, Dende knows that people that use the Dragon Balls generally use it for good intentions. That's why. Like, the whole point of, oh, the evil came out because of these good wishes was so stupid, in my opinion. And I'm glad that's not a thing in Super. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You said unanswered questions. It brought up a lot of unanswered questions. Bro, weren't you against this idea in the first place? Which is nice because we live in an age where fans must have answers to everything. Everything explained, everything connecting to make sense, and to a certain degree that it's true, it should. But the mystery can be more powerful than explaining everything, which is where what ifs grow and discussions can reign. Which bring me to my next point. I thought you were against mysteries being solved. What is this then? The theories and the ambiguous nature of how Goku travels with Shenron absorbing the Dragon Balls essentially link his spirit with them. You can get that feeling that it's the end and the final mystery, what is really happening to Goku, which triggers the flashbacks of all the events of what really happened in the series. It's the ending. What sparked the mystery of Dragon Balls that began in the first episodes of Dragon Ball leaves us with one last mystery. What the hell happened to Goku? Despite what theories are out there, we've heard them all. There's not really a definitive answer to what happened to Goku, other than what we saw. Show, don't tell. This ambiguous nature of this final mystery is perfect, which is how the series started with the mysterious Dragon Ball circle complete. I understand somewhat where he's coming from, but again, some of the things that he's saying, he's contradicting himself. Because first he says, "Oh yeah, these it's great that unanswered questions are being answered," but then he says, "Oh, it's better if they stay a mystery," and some other kind of bullshit. Yeah, this is just further proof Z elitists can never be pleased. Of course, I just don't see Super being able to pull off something as impactful as this. Dragon Ball, okay, again with the insults. Okay, buddy. And made for a new generation of fans. Again, what is the problem with this? I swear, people are acting as if, oh, it must only aim for the old demographic. Just read old shit then. Stop coming to the newer era and expecting it to be just like the old era. That's insanity. Expecting things to be the exact same way as time goes on. I know insanity also has another definition of doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but this is also insanity when you're progressing through time and expecting everything to stay the same. That's not going to happen. As time goes on, everything that we view, everything that we have felt, it's going to change, whether for the better or the worse. If you don't like the modern material, like I keep saying, stop watching it. It's that simple. Just stop watching the show. Stop covering it. Just stick to the old stuff. If you find out that the new stuff is not for you, that's fine. Just leave. Ain't nobody stopping you, bro. I'll never understand what is it with all these people saying, I hate this. I hate this so much. This is the worst thing to come out of this. And yet all they do is talk about it. Like, really, bro? Come on. Like, this is absolutely saddening. Like, the haters are more obsessed with modern Dragon Ball than the fans are. And it's stupid. Anyways, give me a moment. I'll talk. Dime. Sí. Okay, I'm back. Just my mom was calling me. Anyways, you can argue Tori not being involved with GT all you want and not being canon, but we have seen Daima. Except for you, canon means nothing, especially knowing Daima. Super needs to end so we can see what other. Bro, even if this shit happens, you're not gonna be happy. Stop saying, oh, we need to see more of this. Bro, you're gonna hate it regardless. Anything that you display saying, oh, we need to see more of this, we need to see more of that, you're going to hate it regardless. So stop. Just say it needs to end. And that's it. I would have been content with you saying, oh, it just needs to end. Um, and not the whole, oh, so we can see what new timeline will spring up to post the events. Bro, you're gonna hate it regardless. Stop. Like, dude, oh my god. For real, damn near everything I see dealing with modern Dragon Ball is the haters hating on it. Yep. Anyways, okay. This is gonna be the last community post that I cover and the last thing I'm gonna stream. All I'm gonna say for the future is that this is sad, bro. This is completely and utterly sad. Like, no matter what you do or what you give them, they're never going to be happy. If the newer generation likes it, that's okay. That should be all that matters. Like, dude, Dragon Ball now is being aimed for teenagers and young kids. That's not a problem. Like I keep saying, if you don't like it, stop engaging with it. Just move on with your life. Just do something else. If you hate it this much, stop. Move on to other things. Because when you make this shit your entire personality, obviously I have a problem with this. And that's why Z elitists are never going to be happy. With that being said, this is going to be the end of the stream. I had fun, and I'm glad that you guys have also been getting engaged with this. Um, anyways, I got a lot of work to do right now. It was a really fun stream. Thank you guys for stopping by, um, enjoying everything that has been going on with my stream. Anyways, this will be it. I will be signing out now. Take care, guys.